And hello, everybody. It's Rose Chastain, the co-founder of Your Natural Healthcare. And with me today, I have the amazing Rebecca Jehorek. Hi, Rebecca.
Hey, hello.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today and to bring a little peace of mind to this corner of the world.
My privilege. Thank you.
Before we jump into it, I want to introduce you for those people who don't have the privilege of knowing you. Rebecca is one of our extraordinary consultants with another company, with CSW Business Coaching or CSW Consulting. And she does amazing work with people. And we have these high-powered, stressed out humans who end up transformed, peaceful, and powerful after working with Rebecca. So this was the impetus for me, or the inspiration, to have her be with us on this call, because I swear you work magic.
Thanks.
And let's see. So according to LinkedIn, she is a change management master, an innovative results coach, and training delivery professional. She has a BA in physical and environmental science. She's a scientist from Drake University with minors in computer science, psychological physiology.
Physiological psychology, the body part.
That is a mouthful. Public administration. She is utilizing breakthrough methodology, has worked with over 15,000 humans to discover, develop, and expand their capacity for communication, accomplishment, and satisfaction. And Rebecca is currently investigating or inquiring into the nature of communication and the impact of our perception on experience and results, which is just a brilliant thing, because I think communication, or the lack thereof, it may be the single most impactful thing that we deal with in our life. So I love that that's what you're diving into. That seems so cool. And I'm lucky I get to be around it while you discover that too.
Yes.
So again, thank you for being here. And I wanted to start by just jumping in about a specific question that I have for you. Because you are so masterful at transforming people's relationships to in their relationships to things that are causing them suffering. And there is a lot of suffering happening right now. People are stressed about money, which money is one of the major impacts, right? People are sequestered with their spouses and dealing with relationship issues, which is another major stressor. So people are basically, in general, some of us are amazing, some of us are miserable, some of us are a combination of it, but we really all could use some more power and peace of mind. So would you talk to us about what you've created to give people power, and any tools that you have for everyone?
Sure. Well, first of all, I think the biggest thing, when you just a moment ago mentioned about communication, we often think that communication is, where I'm talking to you, so I'm communicating, or I've got some letter I'm writing, or something that goes from you to out there. And I think the biggest area of communication that right now in particular, but always in some ways, makes a big difference is our communication with ourselves. That what people call self-talk, what your mind says. There's a lot of ways to reference it. And I think that's the biggest communication at this moment, and maybe always, like I said, that will make a difference, is to pay attention to. So one of the things for myself, so a little bit of this is just going to be, this is not my information or my good ideas or stuff. This is like in the moment observations and testing. So successes and failures all the way around. But one of the things I've noticed for myself during this time in particular is the things that I get fixated on, or I talk to myself about a lot. Like, what should I be doing? Or is this good or bad? Or I feel really bad, or how can I deal with it? We just have a lot of things that we're saying to ourselves that if we don't pay attention, that's running the show. That's really, you could say, the color that everything occurs in, or how the world looks to you, or how you look to yourself. Like,
Yes.
oh, I should have all these projects I probably should get doing, or I hope I don't gain any weight, or what about my kids? What about, but it's all a constant conversation that we, for the most part, don't pay attention to. Or if we do, we pay attention to it like it's true, real. Oh my God, now I got to do something about my conversations. And no, it's something to observe. One of the things that where we lose power, or where we don't, it doesn't feel like we are capable of doing something, is where it seems like we don't have a choice. Where there's no choice. I have no choice. I can't, there's no other choice. There's always a choice. There's always a choice. There's always a choice. And I say this to my, I deal with this myself around this matter. There's always a choice. You just don't like it.
Yeah.
So that whole, there is no choice. I have no choice. You do. Just what are you willing to have the consequences of? So that single like stop in the action, that single moment of, okay, let's get straight here. I have a choice. It might not look like a choice. It might not occur as a choice, but frankly, you always have a choice. Always, always, always. You just don't like the consequence, or you don't like the outcome, or you don't like the choices. So there's instant power in that. And getting just settled and kind of sorted out, and I don't like it, and oh, I got that. Okay. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times a day I think that things should be really different. Any number of things should be really different.
Yeah, society, you should be different.
Yes.
The circumstance should be different. How you acted should be different, whatever it is.
Exactly. Whether it's dealing with, I shouldn't be this old. I shouldn't weigh this weight. I shouldn't be in this location. I shouldn't have this much or this little money. I should have. Kind of shoulding on yourself is never great.
Yeah.
So that's just first and foremost, if that's all, and that's really been my practice, one of my practices right now, is when it just is, I'm getting myself tied up in knots and stuff. It's just like, okay, let's just get clear here. You do have a choice. You just don't like it. And getting kind of clear about the reality and the, that's where being thankful can arise. That's where being grateful can arise. That's where options you hadn't seen before can arise.
Yeah.
But as long as we're shitting on ourselves and like that, that's all you see.
That's right? Perfect. I was recently dealing with, well, since this coronavirus that started happening, it actually, I had a cold, not the virus, I had a cold when the middle of all of this started. And so for the beginning, I was just sort of checked out, like just when you're sick, I just slept. That was all I did. Right. And then I started to get better and just conscious enough so that I could actually pay attention to the news without falling asleep. Right.
Right.
And I got freaked out, just like so scared and felt so powerless. This is my experience, and then in that fear and powerlessness, there's been other things that I've been dealing with on top of that fear and powerlessness. Like that's been just the sort of a foundation that I keep having to check in with and pay attention to, and what you're saying is very powerful, because I've had the experience of being able to look at, okay, this is the way it is. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And it's the way it is. And when I'm clear on the way it is, instead of paying attention to that I don't like it, then I have power, even if the way it is I'm upset, heartbroken, scared, all those emotions that that I'm going through, right? I can deal with that. It's it shouldn't be here that is painful. And I think what you're saying is so powerful, because whether you're dealing with emotional things or physical things, or just the fear that's out there, or you're worried about your business, or you don't, like you said, you feel powerless. This is a time for us to be able to practice tending to our mind, and actually allowing ourselves to be wherever it is that we are. And that's one thing we always have control over, is who we're going to be in the face of it.
Yes. Yes. Well, and Rose, that goes to the other place that I want to point to in the world of us talking to ourselves and our peace of mind and all that, and choice. So choice is power, right? And one of the things that I have taken on in that having a choice is I have stopped listening and gathering evidence and just getting myself tied up in a knot again, to all the stuff that's out there. We live in interesting times.
Yeah.
So there's so much information that it actually becomes useless, truly useless. But even more important is that it also becomes part of the mood, part of the place where you can have a choice. It's a little bit like, an analogy of if you've ever bruised yourself, like you smacked your hand on something or you bumped into something or whatever, you have a bruise, right?
That's when you get your CBD out, by the way.
Pardon?
I said, that's when you pull your CBD out.
Right, exactly.
Cream heating, but go on with
that. So that would be a useful thing to do with a bruise, right?
Yes.
Here's what's not useful to do is to push on it.
Right.
And go, oh my God, that hurts. Really?
Right.
Oh, but I got this bruise. Let me push on it. Let me push on it again. How come it hurts? But we do that. So that's an analogy, right? So how do we do that? We are upset about something. And so we go on Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is, or turn on the local news or whatever it is, and push on a bruise.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are certain things that are not going to change.
Yeah.
Just regardless of your politics, regardless of whatever, to sit and push on a bruise with our information gathering.
Yes.
And oh my God, and then post stuff and just repost it on and on and on. So that's the second practice is I literally have stopped listening to most news. And I really listen from or look for my information from what do I need to be responsible for, right? Not, oh my God, it's horrible. Oh my God, what should I be doing? It just, and you have to be or I advise, or I, would offer, you have to be really discerning right now. You have to be really clear where your sources of information are. And does it forward anything?
Yes.
Does it really forward? I don't care if it's true. I don't care if 45,000 people have vetted it. I don't care. Does it forward something, or does it just continue to make you upset? Does it just hurt when you push on it?
Right. Those are two already just such powerful tools, is the watching what you're saying to yourself, that conversation you're having with yourself, and not putting on your bruises. It's good. One of the things for me that has been hard in this, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible in these interviews, because I think it makes a difference. That's one way for us to connect with each other,
Yeah.
And it's been hard for me because I'm a hugger. And with your natural health care, everywhere we go, we sample and we we touch people, we rub their shoulders, we, fix their sore spots or whatever. And so, I'm longing for just, hugs, cuddles, close to people, that type of just sitting and having coffee with a girlfriend or whatever it might be, right? So I think a lot of people are struggling with that. I mean, of course, there's the people who are like, finally, I can stay home and not talk to anybody and it's okay. But there's a chunk of us that are longing for that connection and that closeness. Can you speak to that? Like how to stay close and connected to other humans where you're physically not?
Sure. I would, a couple of things, and I'm going to reference the two kind of practices we just spoke about. So there is a difference between a physical connection, right, and a virtual connection, or being connected to somebody. And so just one of the places where I've really had to deal with the not physical is, as you know, my dad passed away about a month or so ago. He's 93, and just was ready to go, all that, and he was an astonishingly complete human being, and just all these things. What I was unprepared for, because you kind of prepare when you've got elderly parents or all that, but what I was unprepared for was the not like I saw my dad every day, right, and not like I talked to him every day, but there is like this profound connection. The only human, my mom passed like 14 years ago or something, but the only human that's been around my entire life. Yeah. So there's this deep connection and this physical, just all of that. And one of the things that I started to notice is that longing, or that sort of, I need to, or I want to, and now I can't. Mm-hmm. So I need to, I want to, in and of themselves. Fine.
Yeah.
I can't start the conversation for upset.
Oh, that's perfect. That's brilliant. So you just connected what we were talking about earlier about the no choice.
Yes.
To the missing of physical people. And that's really great. That is just brilliant. So it's not, we have a choice. So what would you say the choice is that we have in regards to being connected to our loved ones, and that feeling that we, us tribal creatures,
yes,
have that longing? So what do you create for yourself, and what would you say in terms of the choice that we have in that arena?
Well, and that again, just circling back to, there's a choice, and it's tied to also what you're paying attention to, or what you're listening to, or again, you talking to you, right? Yeah. So again, this is like happening real time. So this is my observation on the whole thing. And that is one of the things I've noticed about, for my dad, right, is I'll see something, or I'll hear something, and he was a big music lover and stuff, or I'll think of, for years, we've had a practice, my brother and I, my brother, sister-in-law, and I have gone to dinner with dad like every week. And Saturday will roll around, or Thursday will roll around, because it's kind of moved. And all of a sudden I'll just notice, I'm like going, oh my God. And I'll remember him as he, was in hospital. It was just as an aside, it's not like the movies. It's just not at all. So that in and of itself was kind of confronting, but I'll start to kind of chase that, and I'll start to get upset. I'll start to get lonely. I'll start to go, I'll never see my dad again, that whole conversation. And I've literally started a practice of intervening right then and there.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, think about redbirds, or okay, got it. It's not
Yeah.
even bad. I'm not like, oh, I can't have that thought. No, it's sort of like, you think weird stuff. Have you noticed that? And I changed that for the general audience. We
Uh-huh.
think weird stuff.
Uh-huh.
So what? This is again a choice.
Yes.
Is it going to make a difference? I know that the honor of my dad and my and people like my brother and sister-in-law, all those friends, you, for example,
Yeah.
I had plans to be going back east and all this stuff that just now is on immense hold. So all those things, though, when it gets to I can't, and I don't have a choice, and now I'm upset. Now that's a practice of intervening in that. Literally, like, stop.
Yeah.
Think about something else.
Yeah.
It's, it doesn't really even matter.
Yeah.
But that kind of leads to another thing in general, like being with people or whatever it might be, where you just notice doesn't occur like you have a choice, you're going to chase it. But to get the real impact of it, you and I were talking about on our last call, right? About when I learned how to ride a motorcycle.
Yes.
There was this principle that just stuck with me for forever. And that was in the class, one of the things I discovered, one of the things they told us is where you look is where you go.
Yes.
That's a physical, neurological process.
Yes.
So if you look down, that's where you go. If you look over here, you naturally go that way. So the principle of this whole conversation with yourself, where you're focused, where you look, is where you're going to go.
And that's the same whether it's your business or your relationship or your mobility. I mean, that applies everywhere. I have found for myself that to stay clear currently is requiring more actions, more interruptions.
Yes. Yes.
Than am I normally. Normally a lot of things are acceptable, whereas the bruise is a little closer to the surface these days. For me, I notice it's like there's been a lot of walks. There's been a lot of physical activity. I love the example you gave of the red bird. Oh, okay, red birds. Let's think about red birds. This morning I was having coffee and watching surfers. And I was like watching them, trying to figure out how could I surf? Could I learn to surf? What does it take? And just these sort of entertaining your mind and creating a reality that's something other than suffering, struggling, and no choice.
Right.
Very powerful. That is very powerful.
Well, and I want to make a little bit of a separation too, because one of the things that's kind of become in our culture is this notion of just think positive thoughts, right? And full disclosure, right? I'm a rockhound crystal enthusiast, and I'm polyspiritual. Right? And there's all sorts of traditions and various things and practices and various things that I love and are my expression, right? And there's this kind of sneaky place in our culture right now where people are like, oh, I'll just think positive thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be grateful, but on top of something, right? It's a little bit like trying to put just the most amazing buttercream frosting, like, oh my God, on top of a poo pie.
Yeah.
Right. So this whole, I should be this way, and I'm just going to make a chant, or I'm just going to go do, and I'm not, like I said, I have practices and I have deep, deep, deep spirituality.
Yeah.
That's different than what's my mantra or what's going to be the frosting I'm going to put on top of something.
Yes. I found that the important thing to practice, that we all need to practice now, is not I'm upset and I'm going to put this on top, but I'm upset and I'm going to be peaceful right now, or I'm upset and I'm going to watch the surfers, you know,
Right.
not on top of, but and or, right?
Well, then Rose, I think one thing that kind of will eliminate that whole something on top of something or to fix something is, again, going straight to you have a choice. See, once there is, like, we confront that and get just straight with it, just whatever you got to do, just get straight with it. Okay, I don't like it, whatever. You have a choice. You have a choice to go take a walk and shift your foot where you're gonna, look down, go down, right? So that whole process, but that's different than I'm gonna fix how I feel.
Yes.
Or I know I'm just gonna be in order to X, Y, and Z in order to.
Mm-hmm.
So that the critical part is really how you get to the nothing, or that, really the power of it is to start with, you have a choice. You really do. We do. And that's the brilliance of, at least for as much as we know, humans.
Yeah.
Right?
We have a choice.
Cows might not be out there thinking they have a choice.
We have free will.
Dogs might not either, but we have that capacity as far as we know, right?
So brilliant, Rebecca. Thank you for taking the time to give us peace and remind us that we have a choice, and that we really are connected. We get to say in our conversations with ourselves how this goes and how peaceful we are or not. That has been so valuable. I so appreciate you spending the time to do this and to give us all your tips, and thank you so much. And by the way, if anyone is interested in talking more to Rebecca or connecting to her, you definitely can connect to her through cswbusinesscoaching.com. As I said, she's one of our top consultants. Amazing, amazing woman. So you definitely can talk there. And one of the things she's masterful at is really creating conversations with people so that who you are inside is a match for the dream that you have on the outside. So that's how you can reach Rebecca. And then, of course, Your Natural Healthcare is sponsoring the Peace of Mind in Uncertain Times. And we are offering a coupon. Peace of Mind is the coupon when you check out. That'll give you 15% off and free shipping. So get yourself peace of mind. However you want to do it. That's it for today. Thank you so much, Rebecca. You are the best.
Bye.
Bye.